everybody, it's Liz over at Yesterday's Braid. Today I'm going to go over an eBay update and hopefully explain to you why your promoted listings might not be showing up in search results anymore. Also, eBay is changing the way they attribute how they charge you for promoted listings. So I'm going to go over that, what my plan is, and then do some sold listings. So stick around. Right, so my October actually started out pretty good. I was very happy with sales. I was putting in more work. I was consistently listing more, purging more, the whole 9 yards. So it made sense and I was happy with it. I was helping out with some bills in the house and I was psyched. Right around the 20th though, my listing views started to drop dramatically and it just didn't make sense. I have all my listings, 550 some odd listings at that point. All of them promoted at 4%. I'm consistently listing and my listing views are dropping. And I'm like, what is going on? Now, I know there was somebody he needs a ballroom and people are getting freaked out. That whole thing is going on. But I was like, there's got to be more to it than that. So I go on Google News and I look up eBay reselling and it brings up this article talking about how eBay is changing their promoted listing strategy and how they've already rolled it out in other countries and eventually will roll it out here. However, I think they have already rolled it out here. They said they would do it next year. I think it's already taking effect. So the first thing is, and you've probably already heard about this, anybody clicks on your promoted listing and anyone else later on comes along, buys that item, even from an organic search result, you will get charged a promoted listing. So there's no longer really a direct connect between your ad and the sale, but you're still getting charged. Not the greatest thing in the world. The other thing that this article mentioned is that promoted listings will no longer show up in sorted search results. And as soon as I read this, I actually ended all my promoted listings because what's the point if most people are going to sort their search results? So I ended all my promoted listings right away. And it's like, I don't want to do the eBay offsite ads, but I know that's what they've been pushing everybody to switch to basically, kind of on the sly. But here's the thing. And this happens to me, I'm like totally stumbling through these words right now. Okay, so you want to look something up and you sort the results the way you want. And now a promoted listing shows up in the first few slots of that. That's not really relevant to the way you sorted it. It ticks you off and it ticks buyers off. And I've read about it in forums. They don't like sponsored listings. So, it seemed like a good idea and they were working, but ethically, they're probably not the best idea because you're putting ads that aren't relevant to how somebody searched for them in front of them. I think if it's a step towards being more ethical, then we have to play the game a little bit. So along those lines, like I said, I ended all my promoted listings and I set myself up for the offsite ads. But just to prove to you what I'm talking about, what I did, okay, so I turned off, I gotta switch hands here. I turned off all my promoted listings about a week ago now, right? So today I went on eBay and I searched one of my items. I searched fused art glass bowl tray iridescent, right? So yes, it's specific, but I wanted to make sure this actually worked. And here is my non-promoted listing right here. It's the one that ends with the word whimsical. It's the second one down. It's not promoted, right? That's fine. Organic result, second result. Organic listing, second result. I'm good with that. And then I go ahead and I promote it, right? So what happens now? I hit refresh. My listing comes up first in the search results. See, it says sponsored there. But if you go up and you sort the search results, now you'll see as I scroll, there's my listing, right? But it's not the promoted listing. It doesn't say sponsored. And if you look close, none of these listings say sponsored. So none of these are promoted listings at all. I don't like the eBay offsite ads idea. I don't feel we should have to pay for it. But that is literally, they're basically saying to you, this is how eBay works now. So if you want to be successful on eBay, you might need to do this. My advice to eBay is a $5 per day daily minimum budget is ludicrous. You would probably have more people switch over to offsite ads if the daily minimum was lower. But in these day and age, that's just too much money. So That's what I'm doing there. I ended my promoted listings. I signed up for the offsite ads. I'm going to let it go and see what it does and go from there. That's the plan. So now the other thing I'm going to do today is go over some sold listings, because I never go over sold listings. So let's go over sold listings for October, and you'll see what I'm talking about, that I was having a decent month so far. All right. Okay, so for this first item, I actually picked up a pair of these at a garage sale over the summer and wound up scratching one of them when I went to clean them and get them ready to list. I might go back and try to fire polish that one with a creme brulee torch, but I paid $5 for the pair. So this individual lamp was $2.50, and I wound up taking a best offer of $89.99. And they both had their original finials, so hopefully I can fix the other one and get that listed. This was like an espresso set and sugar bowl. I found these in the bags at Savers for $4.99. I thought they might be Deruta, but I never positively identified them. If anybody else out there knows who the maker is, that would be cool to put in the comments. These I got for $3 each at a church sale, and they are slightly different from each other as far as like the modeled pattern on the glass there, but not bad. Bought them $6 for the pair and sold them for $52. This I found on the side of the road on our way to Lowe's, and on our way home from Lowe's, actually. My husband went back to the pile we saw on the way to Lowe's, and we grabbed this, and so this was free, and it did work. It did need some cleaning up, but sold that for $113. This was left over from a garage sale. They had a box of coffee mugs out, so I did grab this one, Polish Pottery Bolslowiak. I'm not sure I'm saying that right, but it had one little chip on it, and other than that, it was fine. This is Blanco. I picked this up at the antique store not far from me. I paid $40 for it. I thought it might be worth like $75, $80. I thought I might double my money, but wound up getting $117. So definitely psyched about that. These are also a little bit out of order, these October sales. Sorry about that. They got mixed up, but this was $2.50. I don't normally pick up stuff like this. I don't know a lot about it, but it was another community sale. I was kind of just throwing stuff in a box. And even with the gold being pretty worn, somebody still picked it up for $32. So I'm glad that was a good sale. I thought maybe I'd made a mistake there. It is Limoges, by the way, but that was cool. These I found at a garage sale. I noticed they were signed, and the person wanted $18 for them. I didn't know the artist, Robert Held, until after I purchased these and looked it up, but wound up getting $103 for them. So I was pretty psyched on an $18 purchase that I didn't screw up too badly. This I paid up for. This is Ellie Smith Moon and Stars. I paid $20. It's a 10 and a half or a 10-inch lampshade, and I thought it might be worth more, but the going rate was around $40. So I did get low ball offers, so I held out and waited, and thankfully I was able to double my money and got $40 for it. This was also in somebody's garage sale leftovers. I picked this up. It was like Gillies, the world's largest nightclub. I guarantee you somebody's going to buy this mug if I put it on eBay. And it sold pretty quick, so I was excited. This I almost kept. This is Royal Hager. It's like a brown faux wood grain kind of glaze hexagonal cookie jar, and I paid $5 for it. It did take a long time to sell. I actually got it at a garage sale. Not this past summer, but 2024 summer. So it took a while, but I wound up getting 34 for it, so that's cool. I think Silver Lay doesn't get the credit it deserves. I think it's really pretty in a tablescape. This I bought back at the beginning of doing my eBay reselling. I think I paid $3 for it, so it took forever to sell. I accepted a best offer of 22. What I did learn is sometimes silver overlay is incredibly hard to photograph. These I picked up at a community sale. I paid $1 for the stack. They are Metlocks Camellia Rose. I didn't know much about Metlocks till I actually had found a stopper for their coffee pot for 99 cents at the thrift store and sold it for like $65. So ever since then, I keep an eye out for Metlocks. These are also garage sale leftovers. They are Oneida. I didn't think they would be worth a lot, but they were really pretty. And I was like, I'm not going to leave them on the side of the road. I'm going to grab these and see if I can list them and sell them. And they actually sold pretty quick. I think like within a few days of listing them for $25. So, it's just $25 sitting on the side of the road.
So yeah, I like those. I think those are really pretty. And then this last listing, this was my favorite sale, of which I didn't put all my October sales in this video. These are just some of my favorites. Got this at a garage sale, same place I got the Met locks. I paid $10 for it. I did have to take it apart and clean it. There was a time investment, but ultimately I think it paid off. $10 turned into $170. Little nervous to get it shipped, but that went well. So that was it. That's my October, most of my October sales.
So thanks everyone for watching. I hope you found the information about promoted listings helpful. I'd love to hear what other people's thoughts are. If you want to put something in the comments, that would be cool. And hopefully I'm getting myself to a thrift store here soon. But honestly, I've been trying to work on my death pile before bringing more stuff in. But boy, I would really like to go do some thrifting. So hopefully next time that's what we're doing. Bye.